Hi guys, my name is Lucia and today I have two Project Pan finales. If you are not familiar with what a Project Pan is, I'm going to leave a paragraph in the description box where I explain what this is and why I do it, but basically it's a project where you use up your makeup or you hit pan on makeup. The reason I have two finales is because I was working on two projects. I had a Project Pan all about samples and I had a Finish 7 by Spring Project Pan. I will link the previous updates for both of those down below, but I realized that I wanted to do this video all in one because I don't have a ton of stuff to talk about with each project. I'm finishing them both at around the same time. I know it's been spring for a little while now, but I hope you will forgive me. So first we're going to be talking about the products I was trying to use up / hit pan on in my Finish 7 by Spring project. First I have the MAC lipstick in Twig. This is where I was in the intro, and I did finish this. I can't remember if I finished this in my last update or not, but I was very proud to finish this. I've never finished a MAC lipstick before this. I really enjoyed this. I actually really miss this, and once I get through some other lipsticks, maybe in a couple months, I might repurchase this because it is a very neutral, kind of slightly on the purple neutral, like the tiniest bit, but not even really. It sort of resembles what I have on today, but again, it's not the same. I really do miss this. It goes with a lot of looks and it lasts a super long time, and yeah, I am considering repurchasing it in the near future, but not this second. The next is my Tarte blush in Party, and I also think this was done last update. I am so proud. I've never finished a blush before. This was okay. I liked it, but it wasn't anything that I need to find a dupe for. I think this was the limited edition birthday thing from Sephora. I enjoyed using it, but I don't feel the need to find something to replace it in my collection. Next, I have the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. I will show you where I was last time. I believe it was all crushed up and I needed to repress it, but this is where it is now, so I was able to finish this. This was a really successful project. I don't know if you picked that up, but I'm very proud. I used to love this, and now I just kind of don't. I don't know. It's not terrible, but I don't think I'll be repurchasing it in the near future. I have some other powders that I would like to try, and I have a different powder in my collection right now, but I was very glad to use this up. These take a long time to use up. You do get a lot of product in this. Next, I have the Bite lipstick in Glacé. This was the birthday gift from this year. This was where I was in the intro, and I was able to use this up. So I was able to use up two lipsticks in this project. That is so exciting. I am so proud. This was very, very reminiscent of MAC's Twig, but I didn't like it as much. I didn't like the formula that much. It was very thick and it would bunch up on my lips. It was fine. I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. And I would say, like, it was good. It wasn't the worst lipstick I've ever used, but between the two, I would definitely say I like Twig a lot better. I had a kind of bonus item. I wanted to work on the Smashbox Bronze Lights Bronzer in Suntan Matte. In the beginning of the year, I did want to use this up, but now that I have received a couple more bronzers in PR, I'm gonna declutter this. Even if I hadn't received those bronzers, this does not perform that well anymore. It is super old. It's the oldest product in my collection. It doesn't blend that well. It's not an enjoyable experience, and I know that it's probably way past the time I should have kept it because I think this is like 5 years old. So yeah, this is going in the trash. I did have a goal that I wanted to hit pan on Golden Ochre from the Modern Renaissance, and I did that in the last update, and I wanted to hit pan on another shade as well. I cannot remember which shade I hit pan on. Maybe this was the only one. I wanted to focus on maybe one of these two, but I just didn't. As you guys can tell, this palette is really well loved. I was focusing on other things, and this isn't my favorite anymore. The shadows are pretty dry now. I've had it maybe 2.5 years, or maybe 2 years, I can't remember. Under 2 years? Okay, I don't know. But it's around the 2-year mark. I just didn't want to force myself to use this. I am still going to use this in my collection, but I didn't want to focus on hitting pan because you guys can see, like, clearly I have used this palette. This has been well loved. I had a goal to use up half of the Bahama Mama bronzer from the Balm, and I actually hit that last time. This is the bronzer. I'm not going to insert where it was last time because I've only used this once or twice since then, because I realized that I didn't want to use this up before summer because this is the only bronzer that matches me in the summer, and it would be really pointless to force myself to use it right before summer ends and then have to go buy another bronzer bronzer that fits me for summer, so I'm gonna focus on using this up in summer. I use this as a contour when I am pale. It's a really nice powder. I enjoyed it, and you know, I don't go crazy with contouring. I do a really, really light hand, but I will be excited to use that in the summer, give it love, and hopefully use it up. The last thing I had was the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. I will show you where it was last time. This was hanging on by a thread, and now it is all done. I didn't love this. I was first using this just the days that I would wear concealer, because sometimes I put concealer sort of like foundation and it didn't do anything, and then I started using it right here where I found my foundation was getting too dry and it was kind of sinking into lines that I don't even think really exist, and I used this and it was okay for that. Like, it worked definitely, but I wouldn't purchase this just for that. I have now purchased a more glowy primer and it helps with that. Okay, that was everything for the Finish 7 by Spring. Now let's talk about the All About Samples project. So basically, if you missed that intro, I talked about how I had a box of samples and it was ridiculous. I was never using them and I wanted to use them up. I know some of you said you were going to do this project with me. Let me know in the comments how you are doing if you decided to do that. Here's what I decided. I used up a lot of samples and I'm going to show you them, and then there were a lot of samples that I put out and I was going to use, and I just stared at them and I thought, why am I going to force myself to use this? I can donate these to shelters, I can give some away. I don't want to force myself to use stuff just for a project that I don't like. So I do still have that box. About half of the samples I am going to donate, but I am going to run through the samples I did use because I did actually use a good amount. First, let's start with a total bust. This is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I tried to use the shade Vanilla because they give you 3 shades, and it was way too dark for me, which is totally fine. I'm all about shades being, you know, dark and catering to all types of skin tones, but it was also orange, and I have a hard time thinking that that would work for a ton of people with more tan skin tone because it was seriously bright orange. I actually was in a Sephora and I swatched some of these shades just to see if they had my shade, and they absolutely do not. It went from like super, super, super pale to super orange, and that's the end of that. I was interested in this foundation, but you guys know I don't like Too Faced anyway. So yeah, I don't have anything else to say about this. I will donate these other 2 shades and never got to use it, have no opinion on it. I used up this Bare Minerals Skin Longevity Vital Power Infusion thing. It was in this little thing. I think it was sort of like an oil, but it kind of wasn't. I don't know. The problem I had with this is there's no description exactly of what it is or how you're supposed to use it. This was fine, but with skincare, you can't tell if something is really good for your skin after, you know, 3 uses. So I was happy to use it, but I wouldn't purchase it. It's nothing that's on my radar. This is the Becca Complexion First Light Primer. I tried this out because this was at the 21 Days of Beauty sale, and I actually really liked this. This is the primer that I purchased. I'm wearing it today. I go to school somewhere where it is super, super cold and my skin freaked out this winter. I realized that my foundation was looking too matte and too cakey because my skin got so dry, and this is really nice for that extra boost of hydration. You definitely can overdo it some days. When I put too much, I was like, whoa, wow, I look oily, but no, for the most part, when you use it the correct way, I have been really enjoying this product. I also had a sample of the Urban Decay Naked Skin Foundation in the shade 2.5. These I actually both picked up at the Sephora store. If you go into store, they will give you samples of products. I picked this up because Elle said it was really good in her If I Could Only Keep One tag. I did not like this. I found that it didn't cover my redness at all. My chin was still super red, and when I would try to put another layer on, it would just look cakey, but it didn't have that much coverage. And I don't need a ton of coverage, but I do want redness to be hid, and this just didn't do that. And it's a shame because I wanted to like this. There's probably still one more use, but I really, really didn't get on with this, so I'm not going to be using what's left. Another sample I got from Sephora was the YSL Montpellier perfume in, wait, what is it? Okay, this is the writing that the guy wrote, so I don't know what that is. This is not what I remember it smelling like. The first day when I smelled this, I couldn't believe that I wanted this sample. I was like, that smells terrible. Why did I ever want this? And as I used it more, I realized, okay, it's not that bad. It's just not something that I would go and spend money on. It's weird because it smells good in the spray thing, but on me it just smelled very perfumey and very powdery, if that makes sense. And yeah, it just wasn't something that I would want, and I couldn't believe that I like went to a store to get this sample because I did not like it that much. This was the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess Whipped Body Cream. This was fine, but I don't think I was crazy about the smell. I can't quite remember what the smell was. It smells different right now than when I'm remembering it, but it wasn't something that I was super crazy about. And also, this is super, super expensive for a body cream. I just use Aveeno. I mean, it was fine. Like, it was fine, but I didn't love the smell and it's super expensive, so I wouldn't purchase this. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. Again, I had a sample of this, just like the deluxe size, in my project, and I just realized that I don't want to use this. I actually put this on one day to use under foundation, and it was so matte and so drying that I was like, I just don't want to use this anymore. I don't like this primer, and I kind of feel bad that I opened it because I could have donated it, but that's okay. I gave it a use. There's still stuff in it, but I'm done. I don't want this. Last thing I have is the Beauty Blender Liquid Blender Cleanser. This was, okay, hear me out here. This was good. I will admit it cleaned my makeup sponge very well. I was satisfied, but I would not spend money, especially something from Sephora that's going to be a little more high-end, on a cleanser. I just use my bar soap in the shower for my sponges, and it works. It really, really works. Maybe this takes a little less time, but I had to use a lot of this. Like, I definitely thought I would get way more uses out of this than I did. I only got a couple. It was good, but it's not something I would spend the money on, especially because my bar soaps, they have never failed me, and that's spending $0 extra on something as opposed to, what, this is probably like 15 or 20 bucks. Alright guys, that was everything for this video. Let me know how your projects are going. If you're working on anything, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.